We live in a country that's rather diverse. Diverse in terms of climate, area, and of course, people. Whether you're commuting on a bus or casually walking the streets, the matter of the fact is, in Canada, we are all individuals that come together to make up society. Yep, that's me. Okay, not one of those three little girls. Yeah, right there, that's me. That leads me to what I'll be discussing today. What is gender, and how do we in Canada project the idea of gender rights in relation to fundamental justice? Come with me as we explore Canadian law and its rights for gender. Okay, so before we get into anything, it's important to review that Rickon is cooler than you and always will be. So, now, we're going to discuss the difference between gender and sex. So, what is gender? Well, gender differs from sex, as gender is a relationship between personality traits, masculinity, femininity, and the internal sense of being male or female. So, here's a little light bulb and someone saying, Okay, that was kind of weird. Now, what is sex? Well, sex revolves around an individual's physical anatomy in terms of biological attributes. This includes genitalia, reproductive structures, sex hormones, chromosomes, all which are used to identify an individual as male or female. So basically, what's in your pants. Now, some of you might be asking, well, what does this have to do with law? We're getting there, so calm down. Wow. Canada claims to be committed to gender equality as well as the advancement of women's rights internationally. Legality aspects of the country play key roles in making equality possible for women and minorities, including transsexuals and homosexuals. Canada was not always fair to these minorities. Section 15 of our Charter and Rights revolve around equality. This relates to fundamental justice and the rule of law. As with help with this charter, everyone, no matter what gender they are, entitled to fair trials, respect as human beings in society, over or under the law. Fundamental justice is involved, as the concept of fundamental justice is to signify a dynamic concept of fairness. So, with that in our heads, we can now move on to the reality. While the Charter does strive to honor gender equality, how many people actually understand what gender is? A lot of people say that they do, but how many people do know what it is? This was exactly what led me to ask if people could identify the difference between gender and sex. Because if people can't tell, then what does that say about Canadian value of the Charter?
Do you know the difference between gender and sex?
What kind of sex?
Oh my god. Do you guys know the difference between gender and sex?
Yeah.
Do you know the difference between gender and sex?
No.
Do you know the difference between gender and sex?
Sex will be based on the parts that you were born with, and gender is what you identify with.
Well, sex is like your physical orientation.
Sex is the one, the girl part, and then the guy part.
Exact same thing.
No. Wait, say that again.
Gender and sex.
And gender is what you identify yourself as, and then gender is the way you express yourself.
Do you feel that Canadians are taught to treat genders equally?
Not really.
I feel like they're taught to, but I don't feel that it's actually put into the actual Canadian society. We're expected to, but we don't.
Do you feel that Canadians are taught to treat genders equally?
Yes. I feel treated very equally.
We believe in equality.
But what about women and other genders?
Women are treated a lot more equally where I'm from, so
Okay.
equal to me.
Not really. Why do you think that?
Because of the propaganda we are continuously exposed to over the course of our lives.
By 2004, the NDP motion resulted in adding sexual orientation to the Charter of Rights. Gender identity and expression are rather touchy subjects in the transsexual community, as some within the community feel as if they were not listed in any human rights charters in Canada. This being said, the human rights of transgender people vary based on different court rulings, in which inclusion can be made based upon the basis of gender or sex.
Transsexuals feel like they're a little excluded from the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, as they feel that like homosexuals, like gays and lesbians, are favored, while transsexuals aren't.
I don't think either are favored.
Yeah, so they think that gender expression is missing from the Charter, and they don't feel as protected. So what are your views on that?
I think they should clarify on those grounds because there are many different types of sexualities, and they should actually, I think they should, the charter should vary and expand on the types of.
Okay, so I guess we're going all the way back to the 90s. 90s. Okay, that's actually really lame, and I'm never going to do that again. So, anyway, this next case that I'll be discussing with you actually took place in 1990 and revolved around the life of Angelique Lavallée and her common law partner, Kevin Rudderson. The two of them were involved in an abusive relationship. One night in particular, the couple had gotten into a serious fight for unknown reasons. Rudderson punched her, slapped her, hit her twice on the head, and eventually pushed her to the ground, all while threatening to kill her. During her trial, a jury was present that acquitted Lavallée. However, the verdict was overturned on appeal. Since this case was brought back to the surface of Canadian law, people, including figures of Supreme Court, still till this day continue to question whether or not expert evidence on battered women syndrome is admissible.
Okay, I think that she would have been perfectly within her right to do so because it was, I think it's an act of self-preservation and protection.
I believe that this woman who had shot the man, she did not have much of a choice in this, as she was being abused.
I think that it was, well, morally it was the guy's fault because he shouldn't have put the pressure on his family to kill him.
Did you just say someone should kill someone because they got
Yeah, her husband abused her. Was it emotionally or physically?
Physically.
Physically, yeah. I would say she could.
I feel like there's no right.
Put it on us.
No, yeah, I can't.
You can't kill.
No. There's no reason to kill someone. There is no reason to take someone's life.
No.
There's also no reason to beat someone up.
Beating is not the same as killing.
You're taking away their life.
Because that's not a good thing to do. And I think that he should have thought better than to kill him, even if he said so. But she should still be punished. But she shouldn't be punished as severely because she was under pressure from her husband.
What are my thoughts? I don't know. Did she kill him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then way to go. Because he was going to kill her first, so that's my thoughts.
The world progresses while the people within it attempt to. As individuals within society, this country, as well as this very earth, we have the duty to respect our surroundings, which includes the people within it. It should not matter what gender someone chooses to identify themselves with. The only thing that should matter is how the person contributes to society as a whole, and how they are as an individual. This involves following laws, speaking out, and respecting the charters in our country. Gender equality does not just involve women's rights, or the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transsexual rights. It revolves around everyone in society. We all identify ourselves with a gender. Even not having one counts. Making issues around gender rights is an issue for everyone. This is why the topic is so fresh to discuss, even in today's society. In conclusion, gender involves everyone, meaning as humans, we all are fighting for acceptance and equality, which is why the subject is so relevant today.
Gotta find a way to get home strong. Gotta find a way back home.
But anyway, I wasn't going to end this on a cheesy note. I'd like to thank all of you guys for watching my video. I will see you guys at the Oscars, because this is obviously a winner. Okay, there's me. Subscribe, or not, whatever. Actually don't. Anyway, thanks. Bye.